Philip Osebonsu, there's a POB, no, and the latest, the freshest, and then the newest programs right in town. When the Kita Asempa FM, what they could see Saint Jumedia can say to me, say, Jai, show party at Tim Sampa, Ghana had in terms of political should you be no, obey me OBI political show. Yami had much now, but some of you, Northern Common Abba, Dominic is here, boat now, Tachri, Jackson Polak, Nafin, so Krakokuchum, one more and a Boama Sanchez, on Kunitio, Refill, Quinsta Kill, one more Tachri, Kama, Yatan Sin Sudi, Imota. Kwa champion the production team no Kobe the scavenger account be na face so Grace Mensa coach Ogre and your bonnet FNO Bernard Padibutri and afi writer Rafela Menyo ono de na pomo don sem enyi ntia we the spirit recovery say ne ho ton ntempa so meka ho ne yemwa ema enti enku faman and now kwa 26th of August 2020 and I this adwede kese Fencer Sports Night ejao in the preface of the show be kwa santema tema goodiem ensem keka adoso ye den komo kakra betwen ejao Sports Night leagues enkomo ho papa nyame adom no so me bon komo na won sena niama ACL course no kotoko player ben ana opeso mo kotona as a hu enkomo no enhyedan kwa nimu na me adoma match records of Mediama Sporting Club number of players at Mediama Sporting Club e produce na afom dia boa Ghana football na besi sabre no koroko womani so sena niama ACL course na afa de betwa ana mo edidan Mediama Sporting Club empanyifo nyame adoma me set the record straight na on sena hyene ACL com clubs e wo Ghana ha won so nia bede papa se ohwe congress e ba so na se be ba so na se ba so na nwumre obehu e was sports night so na afi won so dia to go to game but in the midst of COVID-19 no se me dey update ni time bre o makacha se ronsa fasamena ka ho and the running water fansan keke wanim na afi so kwa bibia transfer ni hwe so transfer afi so kwa no rest na masi koso no dia e didiye na afi so ohwe asetan ne se na abrabon ACL code a mesre wada bomodi anda se COVID-19 obetia di huni na bo amane ma etia kwedi aman na ye di update ne abroad ya na se 24,224,193 ene nkofo a wo mo anya COVID-19 wiase afa na nyina ye ba devs wo nko a 826,727 ana afi ye ba recoveries nkofo mo atom nko dia 60,715,307 na se wo mu anho atom e wo dwumadi a COVID-19 edidi wo mu emu but ye ko wiase afa na nyina dia na wo hwe COVID-19 log no so dia US of A wo mo na gina soro pa Brazil da second, India da third, Russia da fourth, na fi South Africa da fifth, Peru at the sixth, na fi Mexico da seventh, Colombia at the eighth, Spain at the ninth, na fi Chile at the 10th, Iran at the 11th, Argentina at the 12th, UK at the 13th, Saudi Arabia da 14th, Bangladesh at the 15th, na fi Pakistan at the 16th, na fi Italy at the 17th, Turkey at the 18th, France at the 19th, and Germany at the 20th country. One more at the sa log so o hwe Ghana chiri kwan e wo sa air log so dia utimi sampa esanse ya de no e wo chiri pa ntino o hwe Nigeria da 50th position and Ghana at the 53rd e wo eye coronavirus log no so na utimi sampa ya de mia na eguso emia e wo edwumadi a eguso edimu ukọ internationally hwese na setan Asia kodia as countries a utimi sampa emu adwo kakra e ho no eye countries bi etese eye Angola ana afenso Saint Pierre eye Mikwelo mo wo mo de wani chimu a na se utimi sampa mo de ade no ase e wo fem kakra e wo makache ntia femfa eye news around the world on COVID-19 enso inyawo na afihwe sena setan Asia ko e de ma ya de boni a etime tu atese o wiase afa na nyina no but ye ba mu ahwe sena setan Asia ko a na se eye coronavirus Ghana case no na se 43,769 recoveries Enkwa Ghana confirmed cases no 43,769 and recoveries no 42,048. Active cases no 1,451 and deaths and now say new cases abano 52, deaths 870. There's a nipa who ana ewu na Greater Accra region the seat of government to the Nichima your 21,745, Ashanti region 10,786, Western region 2,948, Eastern region 2,266, Central region 1,857, Bono East region 749, Volta region 656, West North region 604, Half region 501, and Afi Northern region 497, Nafi Bono region 480, Upper East region 282, Oti region 230, Upper West region 88, Savannah region 62, and Afi so Northeast region 18. Coronavirus sena cases ni sitie Ghana no and de won komo kakra 18 senjao afi me fa nchiremu wiase afana nyase na nema Asia ko Germany I expanded job support scheme no to extend on next year to help say weather crisis nema betian sakwedi amom. European biggest economy shrank by a record of 9.7% in the second quarter, but the contraction was smaller than that in the UK. Germany's ruling coalition has agreed to extend its job support package until the end of next year. Until as British prepares to end its own scheme this autumn, the German initiative, which allows employees to reduce workers' hours but keep them on its book, had been due to end in March, and also the measure also include prolonging a bridging loan to small and then mid-sized companies until the end of this year. Germany's finance minister and the goal now is to stabilize the economy. The fact that we acted fast and big has resulted in Germany's weathering the crisis much better than others. We in Germany Germany economy shrank by a record of 9.7% in the second quarter, but there was a smaller decline than seen by some countries, including the UK, which contracted by 20.4%. Germany and Hong Kong and so sampa coronavirus no emma omusikasem ehun eyedene emma utimi sampa na nema enkwemfa mom yekọ London dwoso dia there's a church that sold 91 coronavirus plague protection kit faces fresh inquiry into asori bi London almost etimi eton coronavirus ehun kwani bia ohwema omton 91 pounds and we say na nema esi cost na fe ne eguso hwehwe mu nsem no into the head of the church claim say the 91 pounds small bottle of oil and piece of red yarn would protect people against COVID-19 into winning koma aso any penny aso na eche no penny UK ni say a small bottle of oil no any piece of red yarn no e be protecting for the coronavirus London no enya Ghana kra London ena sa arahu semwe esi atim sampa so for the oil ene eye ntoma kakra bi o se yan ye kase yan ntoma kakra bi ne etwa ne de apoto ye de apodwe ho ene se unya santama ne bia coronavirus e bi nche oda London enye Africa kwana sa case we say ntutim sampa ene bi de ye nyina ene bi a fresh inquiry has been launched into churches no sa dwumadi omutin se dia na omudide pasenya de ekoyi kra which was found to be selling coronavirus plague protection kit na se we ni piemu na owura na anase so for no your friend Bishop Climate Wiseman and it is ankwasha semno UK Monten. So the head of the church will claim say 91 pounds small bottle of oil no any piece of red yarn no will protect people against COVID-19. The Charity Commission has now launched another inquiry into the church, which is registered as charity, over concerns about its management and finances. The watchdog said it has looked at the charity's record and was concerned about the accuracy of the information provided about its income and expenditure. In the Asoyana Kasakra ko London for omo humema ye the Asoyani din register and say Jumekobia womo echen kofa de omo de niama eman kofo free na so nei womo ton oil and afin tamaketo a red ntamako ko keto bia ye twa de mawa na say wo de akwasha dem eno betia boa ema COVID-19 unya bi nteno no womo ton 91 pounds e wo London Mountain. So in the Charity Commission is investigating the Kingdom Church in Camberwell, South London, and while the rest of the world fighting coronavirus. No, the assorted is ill and then boast the honor of successfully managing the to keep the novel coronavirus at bay. According to the commission, the probe will include an examination of its relationship with a connected organization called Bishop Climate Ministry, which the charity claim was responsible for the sales of the plague protection kits. The church sold more than 1,000 kits. Since yes, in Kofu more than 1,000 kits. Bishop Wiseman and the Catcher Air Press Association. This is based on the Bible. I am a Christian, and there is a way that the Bible says to protect us from plague. We need share on also Edia Tuja Bishop No. Bishop Wiseman previously maintained that church was not selling kits and that the price was just to cover the cost of the ingredients. Any yano ntoma eka and after postage no any parking no eno pe anomo ede into obechechere mu se anwa otoma so for ntama keto bia o se bebo mo ban no enye se bia na otomo mu no mo hwe kwankwa ebetua safa so a cost no ebetua sa niam ede ye no ana afin so kwai e postu dia brewa onsa betua sa kan kan we sanse sabre no UK no na utimi se yare na tweet se oba bia intina enya dia on betua na ntia brewa e postu ne dia brewa. He said the church was not telling people to ignore the governance advice. Inti ade ba ko sande bon ho asafo ni se aso no anka nkire enkofo se aban nhihye de aba no omumusu da biada it way enen koma Bishop Wiseman sana ne din tie sampa onimnya sampa COVID-19 o de didi oton kits a eno anwa kakra ne gutuam te se anointing we no ana watwa ntamakoko de aka ho a wode ma ona osaka bia ya de no unya bi me expect say UK for no fisa breko no ombetua san kire sampa obi a ne saka sa kit ni bia no we nya yare ni bi e wo se na nema esie kon product found in insect repellent could kill coronavirus intende nkraba akwa saka kire se product a yetimi hu e insect repellent ntontomaduro e wo kroma no omo kire se military study and show say etimi ekun coronavirus no a product found in insect repellent can kill the strain of coronavirus that causes COVID-19 where a research by British Defence Laboratory and a show scientists at the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory DSTL and Oma share their primarily findings so others are able to conduct further search me patro Sky News and this ankomo kese etwensa tudwa Britain's Air Armed Force were issued with an insect repellent that contains a product called Citrodil na Citrodil ebeye ade ba kwa wo insect repellent mu a eboa because it was believed it might offer a new layer of protection against COVID-19 me pa chobo modenda say Citrodil no won sabetua saka bi and also known as to kill other types of coronavirus inti coronavirus and yet 19 COVID-19 when kunu ekun other viruses nyina inti we any hwehwemu a military study won so ade aba e omdwumadi a omdimu UK ona ohwese na nema ese koso UK drop WHO guidance no on alcoholic-based hand sanitizer before lockdown. Alcoholic-free sanitizers used in some of England's schools could take up to 6 times as long to kill the virus. Into winning your ABBA on our face officials advising on what hand sanitizer to use against coronavirus. And it has been watered down by the government 10 days before a lockdown and no longer matches World Health Organization. Almost standards are one idea by not way and in Komobia no sweat PM. WHO for say hand sanitizers should contain at least 60% alcohol to be effective against COVID-19 and has published a test showing it takes 20 to 30 seconds to kill the virus on the hand. And it's going in Shaba, but the alcohol-free products are manufactured to European and British standards BSEN 14476, which certifies hand sanitizer as effective against coronavirus if it kills a certain portion of a similar virus after being mixed with it in the test tube, but it's not tested on anyone's hand. At the start of the pandemic, UK government advice say follow WHO guidance no now from state say use an alcoholic based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol if soap and water are not available. We need shisha and also 8 PM. Yemini tu mesre bo kwa no Japan for shares be be watches ne calculators no ugo PM Japan Japanese discount store gives staff small smile marks so they seem friendlier Japan into call Japan for catch dia almost stores no man for any almost staff no max no omo no asene nipa no esre we se ne Mexico so asene be a ombetia ma nkofo ya dwuma stores no omo ya nika kakra esan se bi ha o she max na unanima ase twede a ekuro da ho anya nika kra nti we are all getting used to wearing masks but it means it's harder to read facial expression. Is she max na yentimi hu se obu afu anase wamuna obi wa hwese ne Mexico so se nim sete pimi sa debi you Japan for no ai bibia utim sampa face mask we dey smile e de kirewo na eboa pa ema ne customers nso timi to ade and when you are talking to a stranger not seeing their smiles can make it a little more awkward. To help staff seem friendlier, on one store in Japan has given all shops employees masks with smile printed on them. Into Roma, there's a mask no yetimi atro smile srekakra and watcho good air mask nim me pacho posting on Twitter discount stores no and the design shares some create saba. Since the pandemic has normalized wearing masks, we are launching a smile campaign to show how we would still like to bring your you a smile through a mask. Into winning your media by say the amount for mask na omanima pemidodo untimi hu omsere into sa mask we no omo pese still amount for etimi efeli smile. It is the friend says smile no and I say laughter kra no untimi hu bi eye mask nim. The masks aren't actually matched to the person and features generic smile images which can give us some amusing results, but even that in itself it helps to make customers laugh. They do have different ones ones for men and women, so they smile match their face a little better. It also means that staff can relax their aching faces, muscles, and still impress customers. Into way and in summer, monim keka no bu ananim keka pa na nanim keka e wo sena niam AC ekọ e wo nhihia and also 18 SNPM e wo dwumadi a into ko Facebook a wo nsampa smile no ebi max ni bi wo honom into wo de akọhwe wo de ko Facebook wo no so na wo kakra wo COVID-19 updates ni de bro ko Facebook wo no so na ko hwese na smile max na sitie into nche bi beba Ghana ha de be ko makolo dwam e ma mo ton tamani adade no bia be she bisina be a bu ananim no aye peme hwe na afunu asebo flu sena eye honorable Kennedy Japan ka kire o man ne kwamna santini bi no na yediti kroma da bi smile max aba uko Facebook a ubehu Asempa 94.7 FM hwe chi kwa Facebook ubehu se ebi ho me patro COVID-19 tebeti am de bro petrol source clean fuel in full quantity and ye de san hyehyɛ so creating sabro eno pa ho a na semina ba ko alive soap eno so ebo adwuma pa aboa emaniama etia toto ye de ma modiada so on sabetia ka alive soap bi me patro alive soap no your life is much better with alive soap eno betia saboa. One very key preventive measure is personal hygiene. I will start COVID-19 times. You wash your hands regularly for at least 20 seconds with soap and running water. Me patro the soap that can save your life no alive soap. Me patro but modiada so betia yusu na aboa emaniama etia kwedi ma wemu ene hyehyɛ so kokwa di jaw ene anwumrei me se bre kra no na me tu na mod mani etia san kyerem buno ahafo region football association no ohwemu a omo penfo ni abre papa se o yetoto Ghana nyina so football ye em se buno ahafo one of the em se the highest football teams no em se number of football teams no efi buno ahafo na owura ba kwa em se me classmate pa no ye fen Raf Jambra ono so adwene online so ye ne Raf Jambra entwetwe nkomo kakra enwese na nema AC ekos no buno ahafo football association chairman ye mawadwo bibia bokodie
Prof, kami adam na mapawo.
Asa meti on ka che kakra.
Kakao. Oja abaso boys kesi eta menti on kan.
Erade ne hene nyame adom a mepone kakra bro nti nsuru. Because so so nya RFH chairman o ma me bie. Ka sa otutu positions no ahwe na fofom na friends and cronies ma pe e bia media relations me na matches ka no na abo ama ne meti akoyi.
Prof, that's also media relations. Consultant.
Okay, Raf, quickly, em say una odi kan tintim send gu nkrata so edija F no efa the important amendments between say status no Congress between say to dwenum but looks like as F still no omo emomutinku enye penie san hihye a na nka wode bayi hu
Property is not perfect. I think your industry Brano we take a look at your statutory individual. And now I guess if there's a need say reforms and amendments to conform with modern trends. In the 2005, when we had our first statute as a football association, between 2005 until the announcement was we did several amendments to statute that required in 2005. And that also normalization by before they left office, they also gave us another statute. But I quite remember very well. You call normalization Congress and you adopted the very 2019 statute and I'm saying industry place they be bringing extra money they do not believe and I say normal and no margin FIFA statute or the and yet Osha and answer so there's a need to a bit streamlining Yamakakra. So as a member of the football association, I also began the process. We did a very diligent work. Sought ideas from a lot of people in the industry, and they put together this document. And then, because we needed to fulfill some requirements under the statute, again, I had to speak to a lot of people, a lot of clubs, a lot of industry players, because one thing you should know is that some of the time, no bit more asking for amendments are a cure problem credit. But
Asempa FM,
like not issues at all. And so we needed Obia on board, a Premiership club, a Division 1 club. We wanted the things to take a shape of a national function, which has the potential to a bit affected the industry positively. And so that was what we sought out to do. And God being so good, we got the requested numbers now after submitting the proposal to the Executive Council. Unfortunately, the response I got from the Football Association, had it that technically, the proposal by a time bar in terms of the 30-day counting period. But again, the very period that the notice for Congress by now would just supposed to bring the proposal for amendment to the core. Then clearly you also realize that there was no way any member could meet the 30-day count if we were going to go straightly by it. Because I remember the notice for Congress by 27-28, and then the proposal and also called 28. So if you do the date count from that period, then like I said earlier, there was no way they will be able to meet the timelines, in the statute, And then again, the Football Association also spoke about the fact that there was a need for the proposal for amendments to ever call FIFA for guidance, so that if FIFA gave the guidance, like I said, the proposal for amendments could even be part of the next Congress. So clearly, in one breath, you get the feeling that the Football Association in a way, the proposal for amendment is something I bit minding. I'm one industry.
Asempa FM.
And so, again, from where I sit, I cannot tell very particular people then the guidance in the meeting ever back. And now say ever bampua, and so we are still waiting. But I want to believe that clearly, 2005 started back, and the fact that we did a lot of amendments, I am refer ABA, Anko, FIFA Honoma. Then this position of the Ghana Football Association, again, when you look at the statute we have, no article speaks to the fact that anytime I say amending a statute, I say a court FIFA Honor for guidance. So these are some of the issues in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 days.
Okay. Now me specifically na enfana na mo proposal no e say amendments no.
Well, also 51 amendments. You see, again, when you look at amendments, if you are honoma, better say those are the very ones of course that they generate arguments across our Congress. There are some who are for consistency sake, because indeed, if the Ghana Football Association, so chronologically, you pick Ghana Football Association, will be referred to WAFU before as a CAF and then FIFA. So when you leave out WAFU, now it's a 1 year consistent kakra. There's also, we also, pointed out the fact that if you look at the men premiership class, or more 2 reps and 2 delegates at Congress. However, their counterpart man, or more out of the 16 clubs now, man or one, they are represented by only 8 delegates. I mean, for me, I don't think that gives a good impression of the kind of association, because there's an association time and again has said, they have one man football, a tumpong. Say one man football, a tumpong. Now say male version of premiership, as many as 36 delegates at Congress. By virtue of the fact that almost 18 clubs, and that they are represented by 2 delegates. Now, also the female aspect now, only 16 clubs. I mean, one would have thought to say, and again, almost 16 delegates. Rather, we chose to give them 8 delegates. These are some of the things we're looking at. Again, the Executive Council we have now, I mean, very, very, very qualified people. I mean, lots of respect for them. But the point is that you also need an executive councillor to be many views Kakra. So the suggestion was that let us try and increase the numbers in the Kakra. Yemfa for the end back one home. Yemfa women's football back one home. Yemfa Division 2 also Division 1 also. Yemfa Nielun count them for 5. And then the RFA, the Regional Football Association. The interesting thing about Regional Football Association is Obia region, no. Then you say upper east for problems or more, any greater account for problems no more near than AFA. So the danger is that one year careful, because the Regional Football Association there were only 2 reps on the executive council. It may be difficult for sometimes for them to give you a view of how things are done in all the regions. And again, so okay, the structure of the Regional Football Association, you would realize to say, a lot of clubs under them, and so you need them if we want to build a strong foundation for Ghana football. The RFAs are in charge of juvenile football, Division 3, Division 2, and MR football. So if really we are particular about ensuring that foundation football is stronger, then we need the Regional Football Association chairman on the executive council, like it used to be under the 2005 statute, because they have to be there and then they can tell the story better. So these are peculiar needs. Upper East, Upper West, and all that. But we have taken it for granted, say, at least 2 can represent them. But if you ask me, I think it's not a good position.
Okay, so at least 51 amendments, part of the amendments are now after say we take over from normalization, now football association, we now more expect to say the current administrators,
Absolutely. So indeed, sir, okay, send a earlier now. So if you had opportunity to say about the adoption of the 2019 statute now, you realize that not industry players, and you're happy about statute now normalization and adoption. It is not to say it's not a bad document. I mean, they did a good job, all right. But we also felt to say, so we share people statute in Ukraine, now we share Ghana Football Association there now. Not adding a boy bracket. So as an industry, we all agreed that it was important at that point in time that a bit me adopt the statute in whatever form I it will be so that going forward, Yanka say it me I take it the bull by the horn. Now Yanka say it make amendments and so as a member, I mean, an Article 15, it was all right and it's a bit my thing. I started the whole process. Of course, the executive council also could have done that. But, I mean, maybe it was not a priority to them at this material moment in time. And so, members whom they need say that's a priority because the statute is like the Constitution of Ghana. And here,
Asempa FM.
A bit more standing the test of time. A bit more meeting the modern time. And so, we went on Article 15. Luckily, I got the support of 1/3 of membership of Congress, and we had the 1/3, and I had the numbers from backing this very proposal for amendment. Prof, almost constitute about half of the delegates are member Congress, and so you would see there, and yet just a select few be paid and no more pushes and make this amendment. If you have about half of delegates of Congress saying, say, there's a need, say, a baby. Amendment by a statute now. Then it is an overwhelming call. And so football must embrace it and say indeed this is a call which is founded on solid grounds and for which reason we must all accept it and send it to Congress and deliberate on it and see at the end of the day, that you have to my day adopt.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that is not how it is.
Born Afro Regional Football Association Chairman Ralph Jambra and then Kasano all the way from the constituency. But 1/3 support was it overwhelming? Is it unprecedented? And then as you attend down.
So the point I'm making is that okay, 1/3. For instance, 10 premiership clubs in the backing this very proposal for amendment. And 10 premiership clubs, So Udu Congress 10 will turn into 20 because they will be representing 2 delegates each at Congress, making it 20. So when you have 10 premiership clubs backing this proposal for amendment, you count them as 20. Similarly, say when you have RFA 3 backing, what it means is that you turn out to be perfect. So
Asempa FM.
Indeed, by the time I do Congress, if you have about 43 people backing it, that is officially what we sent to the football association, 43 members. But I can tell you, by the time I'm protesting every year, they are receiving backing from as many as 63 members. And so, we have 63 members now. The chances are that we be about even half of that number, adding up to 63, to take the number to about 90 something. And we are expecting about 124 at Congress. So you realize that indeed, now across half mark of Congress in submitting this proposal for amendment. And so it should tell you, say, and yet just a few be paid and they try to meet the requirements to push through submission of a proposal to Executive Council to be included in the agenda for Congress.
Okay, na me sa hwade ba ko dwumadi amadi wadi abedi sa empempenso yi what's your next action obe encourage clubs no na ya boycott to Congress na e be ni den?
That's not my position. I mean, obi oni mi bia be hu say me nyo obi a me so much into the politics of football. Indeed, me football my ni na basically say more friendly, more na more and all that. That's how my football has been. But Prof, it gets to a point in time before I now bring it about positive change to be association. You need to get involved. You need to be part of the decision making. And it's for that reason that you move decided say you have contest the election in the first place prior to become regional chairman. And for which reason and they we feel strongly about the DBA or association, then you need to point out. Someone will say, but as a regional
Asempa FM,
part of the structure. Yes, I am part of the structure. And this is the very reason why I need to get involved and make sure that treating the thing up. So that tomorrow, the venerable Alaji Brusa will not stand at Congress and say, Muyegoro boys. I think we have to put things in proper perspective. Say the fact that I'm a regional chairman, I'm a part of that district, doesn't mean say the who are wrong or no, I should condone it. And in this case, I don't think that amendments now here presented, proposal for amendments now here presented, seeks to affect anybody in any way. And take away President Ketoteku's title as the president of the Ghana Football Association. I don't think say a do up Executive Council, but rather I believe strongly say a am industry I am much stronger. Because again, there's this issue about whether it is Congress which has legislative rights and I say which is the highest legislative body. And now whether legislative body also legislative decisions also reside with the Executive Council. And so these are matters we need to take a look at. Say the 2 million Congress and some say more now the highest legislative body then you have Congress in some. And now say okay, Congress in terms of legislation. At the same time, the Executive Council also be some other legislative kakra. So we need to streamline some of these things so that we be able to the oil then. Oh yeah, indeed. Chrome had him say that premiership clubs and be almost almost starting making complaints that they did not know the Executive Council there then. Regulations. I'm now governing the premiership normal then or more. But the Executive Council under our current statute have powers to do that. But we were of the view say, check a congressman what's our legislative right and all. And so let us put things in proper perspective so that we'll be able to say indeed powers na ye then a year in character be the governing game, Congress bit my be at the same time Executive Council bit my day, a bit my
na me sa hwade ba ko say who believe in sa proposal for the amendment ni ma na ema mo kwan yi na still time for Congress nyanso ye na senka ye fa legal processes of the FNIMA discipline committee na fe what do we asa chirem appeal na fe be a later review na do we check cast over so why is still the avenues no
not yet but Assembly were the response to the proposal for amendment na me free the general secretary hono and sa asem no na ema esem crying kaka in the letter from the General Secretary, he said, say, yeah, refer, despite not having met 30 days, yeah, refer documents thereby to FIFA for guidance. And that's the FIFA my guidance now. Congress be after this one. The Football Association will ensure say, sir, proposal for amendments, be part of the agenda for Congress. And so, for now, the bit my share demand say FIFA directive now say FIFA guidance and everybody bang. And non say equitable brine and Maya. Then of course I'll have cause to write to the Football Association to remind them say, oh, say the people ref here, Momon Kaye say yeah, that's all change guidance now so or the brain. So that if indeed people might go ahead now. But again, the difficulty with that position is the statute as it stands now does not say categorically say
Asempa FM
prepare amendments to the statute now. We have to refer the document to FIFA. That FIFA my guidance on it. But granted, you said that is the position now. FIFA the guidance in the so that the assurance now the Football Association then we would be hoping say the proposal for amendments could be part of the next agenda for Congress. Yeah.
Rav Jambra, RFA chairman for Bunu na half region. Ebacho we de wadama ya Muhammad ye de ba we gina manu so kakra MC Nkomoi IFF domiti Dr. Patrick Ofori na oye chairman the national team no committee no and afi NC time no na mo na hwa boma ne matia koi na afi so part of the consultant wo mo na tro stars to see wadwani wa
osan to say my brother
osan
he's a brother to me.
Oh, okay.
Is a brother to me.
Di emse oba ma no so pese ono so de kakra kan Dr. Patrick Ofori yamwajo
ya nu amini wale
me ba jo bia bokode
oh Crystal Daroma
yo wadama emse na eguso twinkomo yi ana ose obeka binti etio
that's in some narrow can yes yeah genuine say but I think say near a big kind say a team for any football fraternity I get to normal I who say no query asama be a general secretary no can say they need to go back to FIFA. OSHA, FIFA itself has gone through a lot of changes because of compliance, corruption, and governance issues are happening here. Until now, omunya opportunity say omoye Ghana status none adeno. And yes, normalization for no 50 ya ano omoye say they
Asempa FM.
Omo peke yeah status dadano. Ana omuye eye review senia wa submitted the article akoma journal editor manuscript or matro ahanum say we say eye in compliance with this we say and then no and a guide ma omuye buy into share on the Congress grounds omo can say and say yeah ji no mo di abaya tum anase normalization into aso ekopin say ye betimi a clarify DBR and then they went ahead to approve so mo be ma yen atmaso on one condition that is say even see yetimi eye bibia wi o mama Ghana 2 years say say your structure and your Congress size number no ekra no ye teso and ya teso no is in line with say all over the world the power blocks are a world football BMU say a Premier League should have more representative than the second tier and it's all based on the levels of investment are at each level no contribution to maybe the national grid, which I'm also happy about the team currently ESCO put it together to even check and do the economic impact analysis and the contribution of football industry to the economy. And also by me a football no contribution, Division 1 contribution and will be there. And in future no who make it a call say a football should have the same stake at or 50% representation as the male elite division and answer second tier now, you have a stronger empirical
Asempa FM
as a basis to make that recommendation to Congress. But as we are speaking now, Sienina ebedi no cry my ho and necessarily ye boom my game and intia peke basro de, but to say the
oh the say I one every so no okay omu na every so hon the omu na every so hon okay the I still Asempa 94.7 FM Kobe the scavenger wa ha Eric Esirubodin so adjoin production team no kama I hwe aboama SPORTSNITE Medina Tiansa koyi na oba mu a hwesena na Mexico so Rafo align so hon okay nti Raf say line take kwa akra.
Yes.
What the fachen? Why?
That's okay.
Say not Dr. Patrick. Kasa Patrick Ofori kasa ana line te koye but kakra o kadu ye no you go so connect ne de but minim say what reaction be towards that.
Well, indeed. Wallace, in my earlier submission I'm making here, I said that normalization team they did a good job and they have left the team. Now we are in charge, if you like. And so it is important to say, yes, we have share the statute as it is now, and to see say one or two be a woman then a totimana. Indeed, so like I said, 2005, when we had a 2005 statute, from time to time, then who could hear say you bit my amendments kakra to the very statute and near one. So it is not completely out of place. Say Yebeka say then. Yeah, some reforms and also amendments to the very latest one one. And so, like I said, the issue
Asempa
about
FM
amendments it has to go back to FIFA now. It has been stated black and white in our statute say indeed under this article, each time a member submits a proposal for amendments, that proposal has to be sent to FIFA for guidance, for further recommendations, for certain directives before we can present same to Congress. Then one would not have had a problem with it. But then when it becomes something which is known to the Executive Council alone, then it poses some kind of challenge, and I say it begs some questions, and so that's the reason why members are trying to have a look at it. In future, it is maybe important, they can say, indeed, each time, because of where we are coming from, then it is important to say, member the proposal for amendment, that proposal would be submitted to FIFA. It is there in an article. Certainly, I or no other member could be having problems with it. This is the point we are trying to make here.
Okay.
And then again, Patrick also spoke about the fact that the premiership contribution, it is not in doubt. It is never in doubt that the contribution of premiership football to the very industry cry woman, it's not in doubt. But what we are saying is that is why at least currently, premiership was 37 delegates and 37 representation at Congress. And so we share the women's elite. Now also just to say they be given maybe less than half of it because their number would then come up to about 16. And so I think it is not completely out of place to argue that the women should be given at least half of what the men have. And I think that is why FIFA, even social COVID relief fund that FIFA about recently, FIFA is particular about women football. FIFA wants to grow women football. And for that reason, FIFA gave $500,000 specifically for women's football.
FM.
Because FIFA wants to encourage women's football. And so we are saying that here in our own country too as well, we must begin to give women the numbers and give them the push for them to feel that indeed we will be given some form of recognition, even at Congress. And so, I am craving, then I have good reason to say indeed, Ghana football no crown, almost embracing women's football, and so I should get involved. These are some of the issues that we are raising.
Okay. Patrick, Dr. Patrick, Ofori Asamba Manoso, Doc, Yasama Kwaba. To wait
na me person Ralph atias here and say there may not be a particular article But during the stakeholder engagement, if members of the association pay particular attention, most of the things that they suggested, they have to go back to look at any FIFA compliance team to say this time around, where am I COSO? And I can foresee FIFA pushing, say, if we near Cochrane or Montana Federation, the and what FIFA now in terms of compliance, at the Abase, if we near will be to me and also certain number of terms near the ADM. It took start to say, the FA president, where there pa in the episode Wakobia 6 times and now 3 times. FIFA itself will reject some of these recommendations or amendments. And no, another aspect. Anna, Niana Meka, no, as I say, almost like I said, currently as it stands, the power block, I award Division 1, per their numbers as 48 teams, it gives them a stronger voting block than even the Premier Club. And that was why
Asempa FM.
Within 2 years, almost say, other say, almost about 20 Division 1 league or 18-man Division 1 league, or break the Division 1s into zones. So you pick the zonal representatives to represent the club so that their power block will not be bigger than the Premier or the Elite Division. That is also one of the things I remember Masaba back in 2 years to even finally approve the status. Then comes to the number of transfer as the executive council. The executive council clearly is more or less like the board of any company. And the new company at which started out clearly say, we are a company limited by criteria. The number, the board size are over and 12. No. And this issue, I remember clearly, at the Congress, one of new following year, Fred Achi, now an ESCO member, raised this. I raised this particular issue. So, Sani and Kabaya Kwana Yadeba Kubibaka home, Ama RFS, no. Not me say, RFS, no, and numbers not also, Akobia, Amomania, and ESCO size of 13. And then they cited the law and say, in this case, you may be in breach of the law. And to watch it, currently for the RFS and then the big soccer, I've cited a letter on some of the sporting platforms. General Secretary now try more. For some voting right and membership right, they need to comply with the Companies Act by fulfilling certain regulations and requirements.
Asempa FM
is what within the corporate governance literature about for Becca cohesive isoformism not necessarily even FIFA, not the FA, but FIFA and government agencies trying to use the power like the laws from the parliament to change a particular regulation anywhere. UK, the laws are they changing the football any other football now but some pass law say we are foreigner now went to me and nyasaya home office 1 month same way indirectly the Ghana government control even 17 foreign coaches Emma coach who are license the bigger body can use some of these cohesive means to regulate a certain industry, and it's something that they need to look at. Another dynamics that I may recommend under the football industry and as a fraternity to look at the role of the RFA and how whether it is actually right. Say, an RFA chairman sits on maybe ESCO, yet or reported to a general secretary who is more or less in charge of the administration. So they need to look at even the RFA, say, RFA, like an administrative wing of the FA or the regional administrative wing. So they all, in terms of reporting line, is headed by maybe a deputy general secretary at the various regions, and then report administratively through competitions and everything to the deputy general secretary there. And then in terms of the voting rights and the members there, through the juvenile, the
Asempa FM
and the women's football at that regional level can also come to Congress based on our bodies, and our national associations, and representation, so that we can have a clear power structure that delineates role confusion and bring some level of clarity, separation of powers, and proper governance structure, devoid of some of these confusions or some of these hula balloons.
Okay, Dr. Patrick Ofori, we the better say. And see, Ralph, the recommendations are Dr. Patrick Ofori as I the title on there. There's 51 amendments, no. I say.
Dr. Patrick Ofori, he's very much aware. A conversation we've had in the past.
Okay.
Before it being crowded, the 2019 statute came to be in crowd.
But let me share the recommendations, Ralph.
I was with him and now the police.
Yeah.
And then we spoke about these things. It is important. The recommendation he made, it is important that we need to see whether indeed the RFA, should stand on its own as a member, and now the RFA should be considered as a branch of the Ghana Football Association, representing the Football Association in the region. I get my point.
Now me say some recommendations we can only 51 who and say but now say 53 crown and 54 crown. So I say internet still there was a need for a room to be created for amendments now. We don't propose a coin on any American.
So the things Dr. Patrick spoke about, it is not issues are in contention now that we need to reduce the number of Division 1 clubs to 18. I think there's a committee working on that, and nobody is contesting that. It is not even part of the reforms we are seeking. It is not part of it. And then also, he spoke about, if I can remember, he spoke about
Asempa FM.
The women teams also coming to Congress. I mean, yes, we all recognize the fact that the premiership is a big block. They, if you like, they are the cash cow, and so they must have a lot of numbers at Congress. Nobody is refuting that. It's not even part of the argument we are making. It's not part of the reform that we are seeking to be brought to the statute. And indeed, he himself has admitted the fact that indeed some other recommendations based on what he recommended at the latter part of the submission. These are recommendations that he believes strongly say the back into the statute a bit more I am much stronger. And so therefore, if some of these things has to be brought into the statute, then of course it is either the executive council leading the way or a member making proposal for amendments and saying being included in the agenda for Congress. And that is exactly what some of us were seeking to do. Nothing diabolic. If you ask me, I mean, like I told you earlier, I am not into football for the politics of it, but to make sure, say, industry woman, Obia will be happy, and that Ghanaians will see that indeed it is an industry. You will be protected one way or the other.
Okay. So next line of action, since I approve we proposal.
Well, so like I'm saying, in the letter written to me by the General Secretary, it made reference to the fact that I'm waiting for the guidance from FIFA, and that FIFA guidance now, the proposal that we have submitted could even find its way into the next agenda for whatever Congress, whether we are going to have an emergency Congress or whatever it is. The proposals we have made, could find its way into that agenda.
Okay. And see, what the major more na Yami Adma start to come so going forward. And see, Dr. Patrick Ofori and Afi Ralph Jambra, Brona half original football association. Madam Asenyumri. Okay. It's no fancy so it's been can come in na can your point between from near standing on my idea I can actually call you is
as a congress now yeah what them has headquarters there is it can you be at your no my dreams so the whole fine province yeah that they be catch a course outside and they do one catch a football for no omudu do na parking kan enti na omutie radio ni sei na se ka so omko ho ano mmeko enti ye kan na megiri so omutie ni ye pa enti bebia ye ko na ho na so omo so ye de e de fa enti no komo na ba pa e say ma enjoy interview na woni Ralph Jamna Shase na doctor so e de ne de de abana na ye say we have said ananka we abom to cruise and enezi ani ma na ye ko
men 51 no my ana amunye but doctor particle for ka sabi no sound the best 2 suggestions bi kan ho best 3 20 0 kan no e be ko best 54
we go like 5 ba wo ka 3 na me choke
ye colleagues na say ye kwa sentiment emumra
and grand leaks wa prof
oh san kemi ko yin twemu asantema temomre na
okay ke betimi akwaba e betimi anko because me kra eyi na ekita me no one letter word bi ase no ya kem but
leaks no
me hu de di kan nti no me hu hik no aka e no
ene me fa we info
nti yeah
Professor E.K. Wallace.
Okay, yango.
Prof,
Asempa FM.
Yes, the Benfanya.
Oh, the Benfanya.
You will be our friend and say there is no smoke without fire.
Oh, the Benfanya. Uti first one, because on Vanya. A 2 on in here, no. Also, there is no smoke without fire. Into the Kazan Vanya, not now.
How's it funny here?
A 2 on in here. They want to.
Go video.
They want to hold in here. Now, anyway, what's the animal? Yes, it's my Vanya. And you know what? They want to hold the head. Well, give me a major review. Was on Vanya. We are no more going to. Chai, come on, everybody.
For come, the most colleagues in the
is it the Amza who could not know who should have because
I could do any idea, I could say I could do.
Okay,
Media,
could do. Medicine, so I do and run it in Prof, I didn't say, and to quay yes, Asem Kasepa Yabakuma. Na si ahwini ya problema unse god unse gene edikan ena medi food say so f na edikan ena miami din kra Alex no say e na edikan to hwe god food ne Alex ya sa gene f n a ya one hwe omne SM for life yenya problem SM.
Okay.
What's the S?
T. Ni opa chense FAG. What I say?
FAG.
For no. Omne.
Menkana MS kra.
Okay. Omne SM.
SM.
SM. So ubo FH be.
SM.
SM.
And omne SM. Yanhwini ya asem kese ya ba.
AFG no. And SM for no. Ebetenya SM.
Ebetenya SM.
SM ne say.
Asem ne say. O say man bi wo SM ho no na ono no eye hika ni dinu ni okeka de didi ani ni nyina aboma eye hika na say H I K A hika
or SM ho okay
ena wone nada okeka bo medin be ye nada
okay
na say N A D A
okay
nada no penny pa na ade ni say o mo dwe ho komtua bom say empem bi no mo hia keso ma mi e friend keso
o mi ya keso
na say KESO
okay no mi ya keso
no mo hia ne mo apa
okay
I do baby na di na di sisi ni nyina gina keso so anka keso be keso o former year no kita Black Stars
national team
no na kese keso o on to aso be busu mi nsia bi ena keso se hwe me baby me pese me de adwuma ne kɔ no me ntimi ma saman entwa so da ba kokora
keso adwuma oje fi JAA ho no
still na edaso wo
afana SMfo
mpanifo no
wo mutirim
ene nada na tibra kese na nkasa edaso wo ni tirim se wanfo bu ama no
nada ti ona etibra kese
na nkasa no
na ono ana SMfo no hyenase
SMfo no hyenase
se oni tirim se JAA the contract extension on national team
ene kita hodie pa with JAA no so no Asempa pa se the prof ni metie
Asempa FM
na osu ya mame airtime adwade bia ya mame 5 minutes pe o de mame bosome be miensa pe after bosome miensa na chi no o be pe kwan a o be program for Naija o de ahye o eno obi se wonye da o kan wonu masem nyina obi se direction person o de ko no o ntimi nya da afene obi nso na abase da bi ono so pese onso ya ade bi ma no ade no so powers ni nyina wo ho na kita sisi because sports na be kwa wo ho na kita ena sisi ama ade na abeka nsinse mo enti sisi no ti se na da agitum so okay o do ya makora ena ba ko no so ya makora JAA no so ya makora na JAA no emfa o fom so nchew ikwade a wo ye no ahaje no pa se watimi ahwe nanima ntie panini so ama no bosumi sia pe no se fama no na ka fama no na ko wi a o se direction wo de ko enie
se woni ska o de ko direction
se woni ska so obetimi so de ko direction no won famre nyina obesa ko ho se wo ko pe petty cash Ogo petty cash. Say test how be you cry nyina kura no. Petty cash we hear answer wetimi ay test. Ama yetimi ama football Asempa kromu abiem. Enti prof. Aya sema ehu papa. Ni nyane se openi gidi se akura na mfo bu ama no. Sa tam no mfo bu ama no.
Twin sports night league so mema sa mo ababo nkomo na erese na nema esia ko ba tie kwa ma no so na ye ne coach Abdul Karim Zito twin nkomo menye nko brobo pa na se na asem hu na chekaka coach ye mo adwo
Asempa FM
oh good we na run mo line so no
Uni ni bi aka me mu du frame
oh good asem
we de
ya me adu ye wo go
una na mu itwa mu da ofita na ba makata sa
enye easy adwuma ne so
definitely I have to explain certain things
no cray in fact yensa kakata ne bi se na say obi afro de dade a se the city no 70 players na invite them to the Black Satellite pre-selection air campaign na national under 20 na for the very first time in TB Kwada for to stand first 70 players as a chairman saying wadama.
Okay, in the first place na say the dear Jumam Mame Drubi na FA no per se yeah start preparation tem the frame of mama near say we should start preparing, and I requested for 3 extra coaches here, very good scouting. Ebe Kaya why 7, and at that time no na Premier Division, any Division 1, and an air bubble, and the date at that time was 2-2-2-2-3. Until after say anka we Premier Division first week that was April. Now you started fresh, but call on course one scouting we almost 124, and look at the database FA of 202-203.
Asempa FM.
But we share list no one. We no more any which means they have
One year 201. And that time the 201 was not part. Until me 201 for me in Afrimu. But Ebeka 92. Until Ebeka 92 no. That is scouted players from Division 1 to and then Premier Division. Ebeka 92. Until me divide 92 no into 3. Now league no. Then I will take 1 week because that time no longer period to scout 30 into 3 weeks number we and now COVID-19 by yebebo and now date to Susan sign about now you can use 201 to 203 over to use so me sound call back to the FA and then collected the database of 201 then those me one frame me sound one bem. Then remember, one of the things na yesu higher progressive transition from U17 to U20, from U20 to U23. Na yentam fanya juma. But the FA said they want us to take that up because ebua place. So when we in channel, and I mean the previous under 17. Then I went to Yao Preko. Also recently or the under 20 ball tournament. So those qualify Misanji Eka. And now one man we 201 also with one in our account. And a 140.
Asempa FM.
So then the FA called me, say, okay. Mimrambe defending me roadmap to the tournament. You know. And the minister said, Mikasayano, the see, I explained to them why I could do that number. No. And I say, Mayor Deng and the Matimayan in Tenamzuki. Yenim say football is not going on, but Yaji Nkolano numbers at the Amaya physical trainer. Ono won no kakra into no every 30 wild list biano with the 3 days by until net say in 6 days my 60 so then what you tuana one those we went to the meeting the national and now almost say why don't you do it 70 for 5 days? It means I will look at a player 10 times before taking decision. Which means time no CNT 70 no first match beba another 70 beba. Me now also me 35 and then I'll start building the team with it. The same number the flow across so that I'll start building the team with the 35. Okay. And we all agree.
Okay.
I said, sanity there, fine. But first day, you have COVID-19. Now, you have Prampra, and Prampra had about 250 rooms. What you say? Then, those who bear negative, will be grouped.
Asempa FM.
Those who will be positive will be at one side, both technical and then players. And you know, you really are me and one. One man be coffee, one man pass here, no best stay. They won't go home. Now another squad number. They are here.
It also specific.
Yeah, Emma, I don't know a course. Then you say you got time and I bully in an scouting.
Also, 70 plus na dey we COVID-19 so me test na.
I don't know. For that I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Unless it is done first.
Okay. But unim say be cost government about $7,000 to test every player be our camp be no.
Me ba Yakobo tournament and the government allowed us to go and play the tournament. He know the risk more than me. And time I meeting and so now one doctor him say he is part of so onye he's part of those who are working with the government on COVID-19. He didn't say what you told me now, because I said all these things at the meeting, and they've all agreed and sana about.
Okay. Inti obi ka say abuse of taxpayers' money obeka say.
Why abuse? Because and we shouldn't play the Yanka Cup tournament anymore. There's more than a tax money in our account. There's Ubia near Asempa. If you can convince the government to stop, fine. No problem.
Oh, okay. Let me say, me sure say offer 70 players invitation to National Under 20 camp ne buy no. Nkomo bebre aba. Me sure say what TV and on TV.
Say like what?
Oh, I'm for say I say almost every team be a player wo muti wo dey satisfy teams no na omani age keke na.
No. Because me say woman who share me scouting area no a woman the dreams in one bebo bia no me hwe what you say. But before dreams in one bebo no eje your goalkeeper trainer ono so hwe your Welbeck is a scout for Ayas South African Ayas, and then Ayas and Kasa or Europe, and then another one from Takwa. So it's not about that. It's about me minimum. Jose Kura, we be trying to know see or a semester. Me I don't know him. What I say until Yebeshia. I didn't do it to wait me because only Kujo. I think Kujo in Kotoko, they are certain okay. Elimina Shakin, Adriana Nim. They are certain class I call. They told me they don't have on 20. Satana is 202. So the Obika said, me as a sacrifice. I sacrificing Obinu there is not true.
Okay.
It's not true.
Okay. Into where they put squad no where they put down. Amana bebu required
easy cra.
Oh, okay.
Easy because Jumabia was in Shisha. There will be busy say who prepare for tournament here. When that is periodization. Say who short period until who say from CC to the tournament time very short. Until your friend Mayo Saka. Oh no. The Mayo Saka no. The preparation is very short until you acquire your first way. Until you have
Asempa FM.
It is over there. We have 70 players in this arrangement. You see, and there's a double track system now. The national team under 20. Double track system on the Adico school.
No, ABR. So maybe a technician. Make me the condition account too. But you are playing football.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So in this issue, no. So Ubayano too much running rigidness, but too much do tournament. So there are a lot of we are here yet to be there because so what could she at certain stage be? All these things should be in your fingertips. It's very unusual. We do stage here. Do stage here. So now when they come, I'm just going to see the level. They will play 11 aside. Play. When they play, I see the level. It will help me to know what to do to get what I want. Okay.
Nti FNG 70 players na tum say kwambiaso no mo start mu dwumedie.
Pacho you.
Okay. Abdul Kabzi to we de medo ase ade asanya me adom na say abi ade akina sasen fofo bi san pima mesa fro why.
One time friend me, I'll friend him for.
Mate, meta afro, why?
Because me no na check.
No cre.
No dey check Ghana any example.
Meta afro, me that's very. Okay, coach Abdul Karim too and attending can say double track system for under 20 national team and the about 70 players and aton say afro fini be try na ya test o mu dwumedia o mu dinu unprecedented we keta mamu no kama pa I was na dwede esi elkon no to be ma ohwema dan lad Ibrahim Brekum Chelsea David Kujo Action Boys na fe so Clinton Kwe esi akama Maamo B Stars ana fe obama Nessa William Yi Eso ana Vision FC no sina kan thank you ana fe Sadiq Mohammed Amidas Professionals thank you Headbacks no ba Kingsley Usu Dreams Football Club ana fe so Mumudu Kamaradin Osia Kama Ashanti Go Football Club Mohammed A Sadat Samad Isia Kama Wafa Ebenezer Adade Isia Kama Chita FC Richmond Dakon Tema Youth Football Club Pama compensative ho left back Kudu Onichima Fatao Suleiman Mediama Sporting Club Nafi Joseph Adotete Mighty Jess Nafi Daniel Jean Hazakes Nafi Richard J Accra City and Usina Kan center backs no Obama Kwabana Amwa Isia Kandema Golden Kicks Nafi William D Afaubu Isia Kan Nathaniel J and now down boat Nafi so Oba Frank Siki Usia Kama Interlies Umar Mohammed Isia Kandema Rising Stars Ali Mohammed Isia Kama Vision FC yes Afi so Uza Alhassan Isia Kama Utrecht FC Yaru Bawa ewa tano bofo kwa Moses Bawa Salifu Isia Kandema Tanga FC yes Nafi Philip Ofori Isia Kama Tema Youth Edmund Mensa Isia Kan Edema Drafts hey defenders no Obama Ransford Kofi Isia Kandema Ken Faisa Seth Kojo Deportivo Nafi Samuel McCarthy Isia Kama 11 Wonders Daniel Entry ewo Audu Isaka Academy Eugene A. Frimpon Isia Kama African Talents Nafi Isa Hudu Isia Kama BA United offensive midfielders Oba Joshua Nim Atram Divisi Nafi Simon Apia Asamoah Legon City F.T. Mensa Isia Kandema Race FCI Emmanuel Esiam Isia Kama Brekum Chelsea Patrick Mensa ewo Heart of Lions Nafi Suleiman Mohammed ewo Dreams Football Club and Nafi Lions Louis Ofori Isia Kama 11 Wonders Ibrahim Mohammed Isia Kandema Benab FC Nafi Pona ewo African Child FC Nafi Frank Boateng Prestige FC Nafi Dramani ewa Isia Kama Nkranza Warriors Godfred Adote ewo Kumasi Oko Desire FC ono sina kan ba wingers ne so a na se players a mudin abepiem ewa hanie Emmanuel Boache ewo Ebony FC Nafi Sam Agbenyega Isia Kama Kpando out of France Nafi so Ayara Sadat Isia Kandema Kpando out of France Nafi David Onu Isia Kama Emmanuel FC Kingsley Jemfi ewo Rising Stars Jeffrey Yeboa enso ewo Race FC Nafi Razak Yusuf Great Olympics Joseph Amwa ewo Accra Lions Nafi Matthew Kuju Asante Kodoko Afriye Bania Isia Kandema Accra so folk Nafi Daniel Donko ewo Great Olympics na Kofi Babel Isia Kama Mediama Sporting Club Brantim so namkwazo kwa buche nyesa so awadu na for auxiliary attackers nso kra wo Mubarak Alhassan Liberty Professional Salim Yusuf Gabo na for Vision FC no Isia Kama Kwabana K down for Isia Kama Drafts Football Club na for so attackers no Shaibu Tofik Mighty Jess no Sina Kan Felix Doku na Anketi United na for Christian Boateng Chita FC na for Prince K Edu Isia Kama Beche United Mustafa Zakaria Great Olympics Samson Japan Wafa Precious Boa Isia Kama Still Believers FC Omar Mohammed Isia Kama Mighty Jess Idrisu Rahman Isia Kama Utrecht Academy na for Dauda Sadat Isia Kama BA United Alex Afariba Isia Kama Crocodiles FC na for Franklin Ousu ewo Accra Aroras na ese place no 70 place and aton say from so Momra camp ewo national under 24 Kobi yenke so but kabede ba ko etwam sani akọ okay player bena ofi media ma akokotoko no Justice Blay
ono why hot pa
ona kotoko for say Moses Amapaka timu edin no
sa no moga
onti
na ni timu odin say
Justice Blay
Justice Blay ni timu odin say Justice Blay
zanjofo bi wo mbokuru ifemu ombokuru ni fem papa
Justice Blay
Justice Blay
player nko for teams in Africa ne Europe any di na chi dey we dey ma
Moses Amapaka in the history of Mediama Sporting Club Moses Amapaka more than 7 players are transformed in Makotoko at very critical and crucial times yin nani mo Ghana say Moses Amapaka no bata so folk or team Mediama Sporting Club but the most of the players are good no at very crucial moments or the star players no e dey Makotoko
on farmer has
SPORTSNITE league betin confirm say Ivan Squaw or the Makotoko okay play be offensive Rich Nimpon
Richard Impon
James Akwasi piano obesi a kind of my blasters MC blasters friendly back USFA ne Canada o shego cross akensi nanka Moses Amapaka e okunya sen ko betia ton player dia call a club after say player ni nya national team collab ebesi a kind but still opia mo de ma e Kumasi Asante Kotoko Kwame Boateng very good so on Kotoko Abbas Mohammed okani pa Abbas Mohammed one of the top scorers Confederations Cup him what I say, Ananka Moses Amapaka, Abbas Mohammed, the caliber of player, yeah, Nanka, the sales be also but still, with Jeremu Emma Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Tia Kwabena do say, okay, Nazaru. Kwabena do say, very good, obey one of the best center air defenders, Edema Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Nina, and say, Ufi Moses Amapaka camp or Tone de Mom say, come as someone ye, no more Fanisia kind. Okay, Justice Blay, I can say. Oh no, mechanic. Moses Amapaka, 80 me Justice Blay, Emma Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Unim near a crucial by Justice Blay. What did Justice Blay Makotoko at a very offensive crucial time? Nina say, that time no Kotoko na and compete with the same league. And not in the player no. Emma alone. Say on some Montia or not I can't see him.
On the player symbol, how do one Malona? Ultimately, the shape contract in Muse. Only bar player named Bobby.
In the same league, Bobby, Africa, Esaka, was sending the message. Justice Blay, Tamana, Moses Amapaka. Tries to bet you to the may not play over the peak. Oh, not the Marco Tokobosia. And the Moses Wayadi. Now,
Asempa FM.
Arahu. SPORTSNITE is betting reveal say, Papa friend say NYE. On the fray, Papa friend say,
NYE National Youth Agency
there be NYE Papa ono chief executive officer club ke se anyway you know ofre say nka ohia brantie no ofre Papa ba ko no Papa na ka chance $100,000 ano say I will call back bro for kasem the SPORTSNITE I will call back on free bi ano mo de san komo ya koma omo enkrofo ano mo room sisama paka ano mo room sisama paka ba hwemu no chese player panyi ba kwa ye fen say YC ombisa okobisa say anyway okobisa YC say YC una ka YC edema club ke se no Kumasi a nka beto player is price ya
na NY no na
again Papa ba ko no so ye coach fen say MK nso de community fence akoja hwema MK so say we have $100,000 here. We can watch between the two players.
Yeah.
MQ. And then I can't answer me. Now, so I'm for Becca ye pa. Okay, play be fence bright angel. Ono kopie mu kotoko faka cho Feli Medicals. Nkenya saka sabran tilokusia kan akolu president ne dakwa so beka sabre no na da ne dakwa nya contract a wode ko Nigeria akusia kan da kotoko pen replacement. One of the finest players I know see akama be the Sport Club Bright Angel. Omo ede ne ma kotoko just at that time. Moses Amapaka bone ben wa yintie. But I say board chairman bi ede ne ho komoja radio station bi say omo ho ba to sa. Di hwemu di ense chro for ejan hwemu ye nye ejan hwemu ye ejan sanema wo ye ka sapfra sa
do na the course na na ye aduma
course nko omo nye hwemu enko fanto
chama menzo
o on transe de bia so
chama no o de me ba o de
do na the course
o de tena honati chama me ba me ye aduma ni sesi
sana do na ye
course nko
course no de o program
course is internet no vanya hwe course nko anyway. Leaks will hold by time. Leaks will say, I'm going for Benin. I'm for Benin. It's a videos, video. Okay, leak video. How good. But they make do this. Many PJ was there, Jumano. No, Mam's PJ. I saw my back. Menka no se dey family menka leak video ala mama me ya tire waza be yin teme o se my be better show bi so also leak tape your ball be 30 seconds and host say hey to mo movie baby I dey now na movie it's tell me aduma you be inside video bi e pa cho Betway casino na medi one dance dey am so more than that in fact more entertainment with Betway casino me pacho from online slots to your favorite table game no you experience the
hours of endless fun with Betway Casino. Stanley the chance do any chima business cabifu. Visit www.betway.com.gh. Tap on the casino tap. Now choose from more than 120 exciting casino games. Now choose the amount that Ubetian Waga. Now tap on the spin icon. Remember, say unimru feeling with for him. You can't bet to yourself, bet your way. Bet yourself for the love of the game. I'm going to do to share more time. Or bonnet dance or bonnet my dance. I can't do a boss Nina Fina or to chacha. I so dear, obeting the corner. Chacha, what to a pano, bet to a one bruta. And nay, Ushia, Benan Padibucha. Is still on slow beer chop money view. It's as a bet way or no gym on some pagrono. You move the pa. Eric said, but you soon what gym where stores are to Macola. In a chacha wato and a ma or the ato ASR stores. Maybe Samano and so the on 5 bet chachani niagro crisis. Me patrol regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and on the Betway Abam. So, I have found who Jim be named Wamana and Queen Famau. Mona soap ni Mona cream effective for cleaning of the body and Tibomodia that's our body order. Mona soap rujare, cream no or the slat, and I feel the Agba fever aba, a fight the onset and outset of malaria. It was a shas red bang, Agba tonic. You do that 12 the month, so you buy one answer which I Joe as new knee and I'll send I can't go myself. Was that to make a ruby and animuja kama, a man sense kama, Flemish air menses in the ifio, black menses a pino, and I feel so crown air cocoa and fruit fu. When you Agba maybe a fast time, my pie cook will say to Agba heba, a patrol, one cassa, I had a funeral. Agba heba, a patrol, who can't say open heba dia, and one Agba heba, I'll be here from 0246 595256. Now on paying for actual como, a beshabwa, and more pomodon some at me akuye. Now I'm a nema so to quit them all. Ghana's fastest growing online portal at www.adomonline.com. Also, Jim Mobua inside the power we asimu a Adom Cobites, me patrol, the finest authentic bitters, made from the finest selected roots and herbs. A brew traditionally, me patrol prepared to perfection. Adom Cobites, a drink of the moment and at the moment. But what the understand Sabitia Kabi. Adom Cobites, real bitters for real people. Booby. And yet suitable for pregnant women. We are calling so near in feeding with share. Mr. Who and say, you tune chain from Sana Kena fashion at academy if I jump in for coin. I don't cobites and sending where they sing me at Doma. Cobi discovering area say no or Kukunte a real dear or our carnation or the don't cobites and I'm pimpino or the funny appetite, not the baba Kukuntina. It be see another massy and command the Brina catch them when Yamia or chance another day. Tomorrow is another day. Ebesaba na afia in Komaudo aka chineti seja na o sene nema esia ko nti maybe some man of fantastic evening and come out bibia obi asedo demu enso dia ba se Kwame Boy also joined us from Mediama Sporting Club and part sedo demu o kai records ni pa Kwame Boy he also joined e wo sene nema esia ko so nti no bebre ana Moses Amapaka waya makoto kwafi nti kotoko mumfa nase ema papa yi se mode eye board eye chairman omo radio stations ebe horo no potosa no enye nika osane ma esia kom bibisia na madam nyase se mode mo ho agi mu nyame adoma nkomo no bebre na aka chi ebe san dia bro chanopa Ghana for kodwo be san sinkunya e the ultimate sports morning show so nsem no ne yenkan su krada breaking news any broke news akese no ene ebe san dia bro imota kwa meja kwa champol di production no ana afi so e Bernard Padibutwi coach Ogre e wa Hanma team sampa ne yellow bia obo no nyenkwala yellow so we are coding so code disco de didi amade didi ope disco dinner ha tinya aduma ibesha Ogre o disco na dinner na afi so mosquito no I crado the burning issues never home the ABY and ti konya so the burning issues ever ti nyame aduma chanopa Ghana for good so the aka na bedi ebeba ti mesema adwane tem sport is starting it emperor of crash so ti de medawase meja wesia bye bye